So straight out of medical school, you do further training to get your specialty. I originally thought I'd be an orthopedic surgeon, but I went and did it for a summer at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, knowing I was going to be out in the Army doing medicine. And there were only 2 orthopedic surgeons, which meant they were on call every other night. And they got called when they were on call. And I'm like, I can't live that way. I need more sleep than that. I'm not one of those, a couple hours will do ya people. I need like 8 or 9 hours. So I realized I was not going to be an orthopedic surgeon, certainly not with a practice in the Army. But radiology was pretty interesting. 3-dimensional thinking, a lot of technology. So I started to go into radiology, but even that, it was so broad. I have a preference for being really good at a little thing instead of kind of good at a lot of things. And so I luckily found nuclear medicine, was able to transition to specializing in a relatively small area, but a lot of technology. But if you think about a radiology department, lots of doors you never go in, we're behind one of those doors. We have technologists who actually work directly with most of the patients. But one of the nice things about nuclear medicine is that we do therapeutic treatments as well as diagnostic. And so in those cases, I'm interacting directly with the patient, but I have time. I don't have 15-minute appointments all day. I can sit and talk to them for an hour if I need to, if they need me to. And so I really enjoyed that part of the practice. But so it's a hospital-based practice. And I went from training at Walter Reed Army Medical Center when it was in Washington, D.C. It's now now the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, where it's now multi-service. I went from there as a trainee to there on staff. And so practicing just in a regular hospital, just like anybody else, just happened to wear an Army uniform. And then from there, I ended up doing a research fellowship for a year at Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. You may hear of them now and then, especially with infectious diseases. But they have a lot of different research areas going on. And from there, I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I began as the chief of the nuclear medicine clinic, then became chief of the radiology department, before I ever intended to, actually. We had a motto back then, leadership through attrition, because everybody else left. Even though you aren't really the rank that job should have, you still get it because you're the one who can do it and you're here. So I ended up being chief of radiology, and then I luckily got out of that for a while and then ended up doing it again, but progressed to other jobs at that same hospital. There weren't a lot of us in nuclear medicine in the Army, fewer than 30. And so we weren't real into moving each other around just for the sake of moving. So I ended up spending half my Army career at Fort Bragg at Womack Army Medical Center. So, hospital setting, doing the kind of things people do at hospitals, whether it's in nuclear medicine or administrative jobs. I ended up becoming the consultant to the Army Surgeon General for nuclear medicine, which means I advise the Army's Surgeon General, the top medical person in the Army, about anything related to nuclear medicine, whether it was equipment, people, bringing in new trainees, those types of things. So I chose a path that kept me in my specialty. I specifically declined the path that would have made me a hospital commander or a general. I decided to stay focused on my technical specialty.